Hello, everybody. Lori here from Unique in the Creek. Yeah, it's an early it's not morning, is it? It's 11:30 here in Niagara Falls time. And of course, sorry, I'm a few minutes late. Of course, Murphy's Law, the dogs have to go out right when I was going to go live. Crazy busy here. Say hello when you come on. So I'm going to do today a tulip wreath. Now I'm really getting sick of the tulips though, because they're so chintzy. Guys, okay, I got to tell you, when you go to pick, hello everybody, when you go to pick your florals at the local hobby store, craft store, whatever, do yourself a favor and go through each stem and make sure, like, look at this one, that you are paying and you're getting the amount of florals you're paying for. Okay. I had here in Ontario, we have a stay-at-home order, so I could only do curbside pickup. So I couldn't pick my own tulips. And I would find it. And now when I would pick my own, I go through every bush to make sure there is a floral where they're supposed to be, because I'm cheap like that. But you're paying a lot of money for these. They're really bad this year, but you're paying a lot of money for these. So you want to make sure that you get your money's worth, right? So because I couldn't go through them, I got one bush that each stem was missing a tulip. I was so angry. I actually almost felt like Dave's like, calm down. It's only a tulip flower. I wanted to call them and say, okay, you charge me $5.99. Well, these were on sale for 50% off. So $3 for a bush, Canadian. And half the tulips were missing. So I was mad. Good thing I had Dave to calm me down. Yeah, we have no choice but to buy online. So they just kind of throw them in the bag. And of course, when I get them home, I go through every single one of them. And this one isn't so bad. I think it's missing one. Yeah, there's one right here it's missing. But you best believe I'd be putting this one back and grabbing another one and checking, or picking one up and putting it on. So make sure, if any florals, and Michaels should be telling their employees to be checking, because we pay good money for these things. Who agrees? Do you guys agree? Give me thumbs up. Like, seriously. So check your florals before you throw them in your basket. Anyways, there's my rant for the day. So I'm going to be using these tulips. They are a green, a yellow, and a cream. Now I got some from last year. I just want to show you guys the difference in the tulips this year. So this is last year's tulips, same color. Okay. And these were $4 US. Look at the color. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but look how vibrant the greens are. Okay. There's a nice darker green, lighter green. Now look at this year's. They all look the same color. And they're the same ones. And these are not they're actually formed as kind of tulips. These ones, well, they're not bad, but they're smaller. Guys, we need to get off the tulip kick. Yeah, the colors are awful. They're faded, and you can see the difference. Look, these look cream. They don't even look like color, but at least these ones, you can tell that there's color. Yeah, we need to get off the tulip kick, because I think they're just going to keep getting worse and worse. I like daisies personally. So I think at next wreath I do a floral, I'm going to use daisies. That's what I'm going to do. No, the circle, this ring board comes from uniqueinthecreek.com. It's the Unique in the Creek ring board. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to use. The ring board is a bit thicker than our other boards. It's not as thick as the cross, but it's thicker than the character board and the large board. we wanted to make sure it's sturdy so it doesn't warp, and that you're going to have a nice sturdy base. Okay. I know. Next one, I'm making daisies. I bought a whole bunch of tulips. I just want to get them used, but next year I'm not doing any tulips. I did like a little rose thing the other day. You can use any flowers. They just know that the trend these days are the tulips. So the tulip trend started about 3 or 4 years ago. And when they first came out, the tulips were gorgeous. And you know, you didn't mind paying that much for them. But now I'm telling you, it's horrid. But it is what it is, right? Yeah, make it in your own favorite flower. Exactly. Good morning, everybody. I'm having my coffee with you. So I'm going to show you guys a really pretty way that you can do a tulip wreath without using so much tulips. I had this window pane mesh kicking around. I already had it cut. I have no idea what I was going to be using it for. So I decided I'm just going to use this mesh, and you guys can use whatever mesh you want. I think this is going to make a really pretty statement, kind of. You can also do it with ribbon. I did the other night. I did one with ribbon. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Yeah, usually I'm on during the night, but today I'm wide awake. This is my third coffee, so I'm caffeinated well. So let's do a quick wreath with these tulips. I'm also going to be using this little bit of greenery. It's called a lavender. So I do have it in white, and I got it in purple. So this is just a cheap lavender plasticky bush, and I'm going to cut it down, and I'm going to show you how we're going to add just a little bit of it to our wreath, just to give it some little bit more pizzazz. Okay. Good morning, Sean. Let's have a sip of coffee before we start, shall we? It's already been a morning. All right. Oh, and I have this. I'm going to make a simple bow with just these two really, really cute ribbons. It's just a 1.5-inch white canvas and a 1.5-inch solid canvas. The solid colors are my favorite to use on floral wreaths, just because it just pulls out. The green will kind of pull out some of this faded green in these tulips. But all right. So what I've done is I have pieces of mesh. This is a poly burlap window pane. It's not my favorite. I did not heat seal it, but I'm going to show you how we're going to fold it up. You, like I said, can use any mesh you want. This is a good way to use some leftover mesh because you only need 16 pieces. And you don't even have to have them at 10 inches. Okay. You can cut them at 9. You could cut it at 8. Just great way to use up some mesh and not have to use so many florals. So like I said, I'm using tulips, but you can do this with any kind of floral bush that you want. Okay, so I have preloaded closed row 2 on the ring. Okay, so we preloaded closed is going down one hole, up the other, and just doing the zip tie up, but leaving a space. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad you got your Valentine's kit. Okay. With the mesh, what we're going to do is I'll get a clothespin so I can show you guys this slowly. Again, whatever mesh you want to use, I'm going to take my mesh, curl up, fold it about the halfway mark, and fold the other side just over. And I'm just going to scrunch it up in the middle, a kerfuffle. Okay. That's what I'm going to do. So that's why I didn't heat seal it, because my cut edges are going to be facing down. So they're going to be facing down, and they're on the inside of the mesh. So I already started one. I just wanted to make sure it was going to work okay. Then you're going to take a zip tie, and on row 1.5, you go down one hole and up row 1 hole, just like that. Leave that open. Take take your mesh that you just close pinned, flip it up, put it on the board, and just zip tie around it. So we're going to fill some of this wreath in with mesh so we don't have to use so much florals. Now, I did do one with all florals the other day, and I used ribbon kind of the same way. I had the florals I used with the ribbon weren't as expensive as these tulip ones were. So I didn't mind using as many florals on that one. These tulips, they're kind of pricey. So that's why we're going to use mesh to fill it. So again, fold it up. So you're just almost sandwiching it like that. Fold it in half. Give it a scrunch in the middle. Hi, Lolly. Did you sign in for school? Good girl. There's no school here. It's all online. Hello, everybody. And there we go. So you can use, like I said, any kind of mesh you want. And we're going to go around. You could probably even skip a hole. If you're using like a full, say if you're using a deluxe foil mesh or something, you could probably skip a hole. I'm not going to because I have this mesh and it's been kicking around my craft room. And the more it kicks around, the more it frays. Good morning, everybody. I thought I would get up and at it early. So usually I do all my computer work during the day, and that's why I craft at night. Today I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to craft, and then maybe my computer work will be a little more enjoyable because I've already crafted. So I'm just cutting the zip tie ends off and throwing them away. Hello, Suzanne. My little sparrow farter. Sharon, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well too. So 10 by 10 pieces. We're just folding it like almost like an envelope, flipping it up, and just put it in between the zip tie. Now you can, after you do your mesh, you can then go and preload your row 2 if you want, so they're not in the way. Oh, thank you, Valerie. I'm glad I get to, I just thought I'd change it up a bit. Maybe my day will go a little bit better if I craft first and then do the yucky stuff later. So I'm just going, even though there's a zip tie already in here, I'm going down that zip tie and coming up row 1. I have a bunch of yellow and white daisies. The next one I do is going to be a daisy one. Because I love daisies. Daisies, they just, when you see daisies, you can't help but smile. They're like the smiling flower. You're watching while you work. Did you start your new promoted job? My friend Suzanne got promoted at her work. I'm so proud of her. You're addicted to, yeah, the wing boards are fun. All the boards are fun because I could do something different on the boards every day of the week. I could do something not the same every day of the week. So if you've not used Unique in the Creek boards, you really don't know what you're missing. There's a whole universe out there of stuff you can do. Now, a lot of people use the grapevines for these tulip or floral wreaths. I just know when I don't like grapevines. One time I was using a grapevine and some bugs came out of it. That was it. Done. No more using grapevines because that was gross and it was dirty. And with grapevines, when and I'm not, a lot of people like grapevines, so I'm not dissing anybody. But when they hang on the door in the heat, the grapevine that once was round will oval. So you may want to tell your customers, Because when I was selling wreaths, I actually had a few people message me like 6 months later after I made their wreath that their wreath was oval now and they don't want it oval. They wanted a round wreath. So what do? I didn't tell them at first that it would oval because I never even thought of it. I actually made them a whole brand new wreath and told them it would oval. So I'm thinking, and then after I did it, it's like, you know, they don't really care that it's oval. They just want a new wreath because they took the wreath anyways, even though they know it's going to oval, the second wreath, even though they know it's going to oval again. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So just, you have to beware. And then when you're gluing the tulips and the florals in, the glue in hot weather will melt and the florals will start falling out. Just saying. Yep, they will go oval. The weight of it and heat will oval them. Now, I personally think the oval is really pretty. But I guess if you're wanting a round wreath, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that when I was selling wreaths that it's just like, you just shake your head. It's like, really? And you know they're just wanting something for free or something new. Look how pretty this is. You could just put another thing of ruffles and throw a bow on here, and that would be such a pretty wreath by itself. Hello. I need another sip. Yeah, you got to be careful with grapevines and gluing, period. Glue, even just like Gorilla Glue, it can only withstand so much heat, and they will fall off. They will. Sorry. And they're dirty. I can't stand them. I can't stand grapevines. They're dirty. Dirty, and they have bugs. Yeah, you do need a lot of, you do need quite a few tulips. But there's pros and cons for every wreathing frame, except mine, right? Because I'm biased again, biased on mine. Mine, everything's zip tied in and glued. So if the glue melts, the zip tie is going to keep it in as well. So I'm just, you can fill up the whole ring with florals and tulips. I'm just showing you guys a simple way to make a beautiful tulip wreath without having to use so many of them. Can you show close up have your zip ties in? Okay, so row 1 or row 2, there is numbers on the ring. Row 2, I have put my zip tie. Here, let me cut one down. So you get the 3 holes. Taking my zip tie, going down the hole closest to the ring, the inner part, come up, and then I'm just zipping it until it doesn't lock. We called that preload closed. And then for my mesh, I'm going down the same hole, even though there's one here, and coming up this hole, leaving it open so I can put my mesh in. My mesh, I'm just folding over like an envelope and zipping it in. So this is going to make a large looking tulip wreath without having to use so many tulips. So you're using 16 pieces of mesh. You can use whatever mesh you want. I had this kicking around and it's kind of pretty. It's a window pane poly broap. And as you can see, it gets really, really full. And that's why I said you could use a piece of mesh in every other hole. Look how pretty. Oh, I have one more to do. I like how this just needs a ruffle in here and, like I said, and a bow, and it would be so pretty. Okay, so this is my last piece of mesh. Hey, Monk. I have a hacker. It's getting bad, you guys. People getting their Facebook pages taken and reporting stuff that's not needs to be reported. I don't see the hacker. You guys let me know if you see it again. It's just getting so crazy out there. And poor Scott Waterman, he's been trying to get his page back for over a month. If you do follow Scott Waterman from Waterman's Loft, he has been on YouTube lately. So go make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel if you need yourself a little bit of Scott. Everybody needs a little bit of Scott in their life. Okay, look. Oh, this is gorgeous. I love this. Look at how pretty this is just by itself. I got to show you guys something. 1 second. I picked these up at our local dollar store. Okay, these cost me $2.50. Okay, you get, look how pretty. There's 3 flowers on each stem, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stems for $2.50. Michaels needs to smarten up. We need to boycott them. Look how pretty this would look instead of the tulips. Wouldn't that look prettier than those tulips? I am definitely going to make myself a daisy wreath using these. I got them in white and I got them in a bunch of yellow. Aren't they beautiful? They're in our dollar store, Dollarama. Daisy bush. So Canadians, again, the only store we have in Canada that the Americans are jealous of. I know. So guys, we can use anything. We don't have to use the tulips. Let's start a different trend next year. Okay. Anyways, we're doing the tulips today anyways. So I have cut them down. Each stem has, well, most of them have 3 on them. There is 1 stem on each one that only has 2. I don't know why. Look, it only has 2. 1 stem only has 2. So I have cut so far. I left the 2 on each stem. And I have cut so far 3 bushes. And I cut them and I just put them in this little bucket. Okay. I know, wouldn't a daisy, I'm going to do another one. Not today, but with daisies. I just wanted to show you guys. We can boycott the tulips. We can do it together. No more tulips. No more tulips. I have found that out of my tulips this year, there is only 2. Really? Yep. And they'll keep making them sadder and sadder because we'll keep buying them and they know that. All right. So what I did is I'm leaving the green on there. These green little cheapy things. They're good for a filler. You don't have to. You can actually slide them right off if you don't want to use. And you just want tulips. They don't bother me. They're a nice little filler. And it's nice to have a little bit of green in it. So what I'm going to do, and then I got this lavender bush. Okay. This one's white. I do got purple. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I have 5 stems on it. Each stem has, and it's a little bit frosted. You got 3 pieces at the top here and 2 pieces at the bottom. I don't want to use this whole stem because this part here will probably just get lost in the tulips anyways. So I'm going to cut the top part off. Okay. And then now I'm left with the 2 little sprigs. So let's cut the tops off. And this is just another good way to add a little bit more extra to your wreath without costing a fortune. I'm cutting the tops off. And then, so it leaves me with the 2. I'm going to take one of these, put it on the stem where I just cut, slide it on there, and now I just made myself another stem with 3. Take this one again, slide it on, come on, there we go. Slide it on, we got 3 again, there we go. So we're just borrowing to make more. Now I got one little one. I'll save that one because I'll probably need it if I cut another bush. But now we got a bunch of little sprigs out of one bush. See that? And I'm just going to throw it in my thing too. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these sprigs and I'm going to slide it into the zip tie, just like that. And I'm going to take 2 of my tulip stems. So 1, 2. These are so sad. I'm going to take 2, put it together. Actually, I'm going to grab one with one of these little long stem things. Okay, put them together. I think I'll have the green going towards the back. Put them together, take your stem, you're going to slide it right into your zip tie and zip it up. So I slid the tulips right to, here, so you can get closer, right to the base of where they're attached to the stem and zip tied it. Okay, and then we're just going to pull our little lavender out to the side and our sad looking tulips just like that. Now, I'm not going to fuss with the tulips too much right now because after they're going to start layering and you won't see any of the board and you won't see the zip ties. So as they're layering, as they get layered, I'll go back and then I'm going to fix them all. So I'll have the green going to the back and the tulips more to the front. Then what I'm going to do, now this is just optional. I'm just going to put a thing of glue right over top of that tulip, those stems onto the board. That way, if the glue gives way, the zip ties don't really give way. So, but it's just a double precaution. So again, I'm sticking a piece of that lavender. A little bit too long. Lavender, 2 pieces of the tulip, butting them together, sticking it in the zip tie and pulling it tight. And then you can fix them. Pull it tight. Cut your zip tie tail, throw it away. Now I want my lavender kind of going out the side here so you can see it. Look at this. You might want to glue your tulips onto each stem. I don't know where that went. Who's with me with boycotting these? The lavender you can get at Michael's too. It's just cheapy lavender. They're usually on the end aisle, but you can use any kind of greenery to just make a fill some of it. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right across. And that's the whole wreath is going to be like this. Pretty easy. See, as you can see, as I'm starting to fill up the ring, you can't see the board. And it looks like I'm using a lot of tulips, but I'm not. Because don't forget, so far, I only cut 3 bushes so far. So I'm going to see how many it takes. So you're just putting a little bit of glue over top. It's holding it in. Even though there's a zip tie, at least I know it's not going to fall apart. So you can do this on the character board as well and have a sign. So we do have the inserts. So you could do the exact same thing and have a beautiful like spring sign. I'll bring this up just a bit. You can have a really pretty spring sign in the center. And it's just a vinyl insert. And just, I have to do this with daisies. I will be doing it with daisies, I can tell you. So I'm literally just sticking, there's the end of the tulip thing. That way it's all zip tied in. Look how pretty this is. Are you guys loving it? It's so pretty. And now you probably can't see it with the colors and everything, but I'm going to put a simple bow on it maybe. I might not even do a bow. But it's kind of nice that the tulips are kind of falling in towards the center of the ring too. And I'm only using 2 pieces of the tulip per zip tie. So there's 16 zip ties, so you need 32 3 stems. Does that make sense? 32 3 stems. Don't get me going with math. It's way too early and I haven't finished my coffee. This could be done with roses. Like I'm saying, we need to boycott these tulips, but you can definitely use any flowers you want. I personally think these would have looked much prettier. Right? But people like the tulip wreaths, so you have to give them what they want. But they can be very expensive to make. That's why I wanted to show you guys like an easier, cheaper way to do these tulip wreaths without having to use so much. And I think the mesh really accents the tulips as well. Don't you guys agree? Gives it a little bit more something, something. Well, unfortunately, we can't print the digitals because of the lockdown. I don't know if there's anywhere online that will deliver them. So, but you can get our vinyls. That's all I can tell you. I don't know because of lockdown. It's just craziness. I don't even have any answers. Nothing is normal anymore, guys. We're all struggling like everybody in the world. No, I didn't heat seal the mesh because I folded it in. You don't see the edges. And this is poly burlap, so definitely, if you want to heat seal it, you can. But the way I put the mesh in, you don't really need to. So also, if you're not, just another little hint, if you're not gluing these right onto the stem, because like who really wants to do all that, tell your customer that the tulip, some tulips may fall off, you know, with the opening and closing of the doors. Let me bring this up a bit. That they can just pop them back on. It doesn't mean their wreath is broken or whatever. It just means, so if this pops off, they just need to find where the stem is and they can put it back on, because they, you know, opening, if they're putting it on a front door, opening and closing the door, these things will probably, a few of them will probably pop off. So before you have angry customers, just give them a heads up maybe. Okay, let's keep going. So I'm still using the same 3 bushes. So I'm thinking this wreath is going to take 6 tulip bushes. Yeah, E6000 is like the best to use because it does have a high heat before it would melt. It has a high heat melting point, but it takes a while to dry and it smells. And I don't know if you really have time to do every single one of them of E6000. If you do, then awesome. Make sure you're going to pay for your time though. Okay, my last 2. So far I've used 3 tulip bushes. And these are my last 2. Yes, this will fit between 2 doors for sure. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we only have 5 left. Oh, 6. That makes sense. So I'll grab another bush. Push this greenery up, and then I'm just cutting them. Make sure you push everything up. If you're going to use the green that's on the tulip stem, which you might as well, you paid for it, even though it's kind of cheesy looking, push them up. So there's one that has just 2. I'm not too sure why that is. Throw them back in my bucket of tulips. So I'm still using the same 1 stem of the lavender because I cut it down. But you see, I don't know if you can see how it's just coming around the outside. It just gives it a little bit extra without costing a fortune. But it looks, doesn't this look like it costs a lot? I can't wait to see what you guys do other than tulips. Okay, let's do some stuff other than tulips. probably going to get an email from Michael's because I'm boycotting their tulips. So I'm putting it the tulips right to where the zip tie is and the bottom of the tulip and just zipping it up. There's a little bit of stem on the board there. And then I'll just go across it with some glue. Love your work from Ireland. Well, welcome from Ireland. Gosh, I got friends all over the world now. Oh, thank you. I do love to play. I love playing and crafting. This is my go-to stress reliever. And usually I'm on at night. And like I said earlier, I thought today I would change it up and craft first and then do my computer stuff afterwards. And maybe my day will be a little bit brighter because I've already crafted. Oh, Melissa, I don't know. I used half a roll of mesh, and I'm going to be using probably 6 bunches of tulips. And then times it, I would times mine 2.5 of my material. So it all depends on how much work you put into it. So as you can see, I didn't glue every single little tulip in there. If you're going to do that, then you obviously have to charge a little more because you're taking the time to glue every little tulip on. So it's just common sense. And also how much experience you have. So if you're just a beginner, and I say this with all due respect to everybody, because we all started. We're beginners at once, right? You wouldn't charge the same as perhaps myself or some of the other veteran wreath makers. You wouldn't charge, and you're just a beginner wreath maker. I don't think you would charge the same as a more veteran wreath maker. Does that make sense without stepping on anybody's toes or anything? I could probably get more for my wreath because of who I am right now. And I'm not saying that to have a big head or anything. It's just, you know, some of us wreath makers have been doing this for a while. And I could probably get $80 for this. And it's more on probably because who I am. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't want, and I'm not discouraging you guys, you need to get what you're worth. And, but I would think if you're just a beginner or just, you know, started out a few months ago, take your supplies and what you put into it and times it by 2.5. Anyways, I was just fixing my tulips. I'm kind of putting the straggly ones more in the back. And then you can fix your tulips. Put them nicely. Pull your lavender out so you can see it at the sides. And I used 1, 2, 3, 4. I used 5 bushes of tulips, and I still have a few left over, and I didn't use the ones that only had 2. Not bad, eh? So if you want to add more tulips, of course you can. So you can add 3 bunches to a zip tie. And you don't see the board. And I'm going to move these tulips. And there's the back. And then there's 2 holes here that we can use to go down and up Or you could even slip a zip tie just under here to make a hanger. It's up to you, but there's 2 holes here. And on the ring board, they're a little farther apart, so we could get the 3 holes. So you just make a hanger. And there we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh, this camera. I got to get my Mevo going again. So now you can add a bow if you want. I hope that just showed you. You can hang it. There's the hanger. You could even hang it by the ring. You could put a little zip tie through one of these zip ties, however you want to do it. I got this solid green. I think I want to use to make this, because these are green and lighter green and yellow and cream. I think if I add a spring green bow, maybe with the white, and these are just 1.5 inches, just a simple one, it'll pull out more of the so-called green in the tulips. I know, I'm going to lift my thing out so I can zoom out a little bit. I really got to get my Mevo. I have 3 Mevos and none of them I can get working. There we go. Okay. So, like I said, just a quick, easy, different way to make the tulip wreath without being so expensive. Love it. Very, very pretty. Okay, let's make a bow. Let's put this away. And yes, it will fit between 2 doors. It's thin. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Oh, yes. So I wanted to give my wreath a little bit more glory, because I'm all about the sparkle. I love sparkle. And these tulips are kind of frumpy looking. So I'm going to take some wax paper. Now this is, you don't have to do this. This is just a Lori thing. Put some wax paper so I don't get stuff all over my wreath, or all over my brand new purple cutting mat. I still have some more of this left over. This is like always kicking around my craft room. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I have some spray adhesive, and I wish I could have used this. This is Mod Podge Ultra. It's a spray on all-in-one glue and sealer. It's a brand new bottle, but my pump, there's an expiry date. How does Mod Podge have an expiry date? And it's expired, but I can't get the pump to work. So I'm just going to use this. Watch what I'm going to do. Damn tulips. They're so awful. Oh. And guys, y'all, we keep making them. The customers keep wanting them. Join the revolution of no tulips. I have done just a plain tulip wreath on the character board, and I believe I used 12 bunches and it covered the whole thing. So I'm going to bling this up a bit. This is just Elmer's spray adhesive. I'm just going to put a little bit. That's why I have the wax paper. Then I'm going to take this glamour dust. It's glitter. Look how pretty. And I'm going to sprinkle it and make these tulips not so frumpy. Look at my fairy dust. I'm blinging up my tulips, guys. Look at that. You guys probably can't even see that. It's sparkly. Sparkly tulips. Then I'm just going to put that aside and let it dry. And then you can spray it. You may want to spray it with a sealer, because the tulips will fade. Like anything will fade in the sun. The flowers will too. This is you can use, you know what the best is to use is oh my gosh, what's it called? Oh my god, I can't remember. This is just a fine it's just a fine glitter dust. You can buy them at any of the craft stores, but it's just very, very fine. And I sparkled fairy dust all over. Oh my gosh, it's very pretty. I don't know if you guys can see how pretty it just sparkled up. You'll be able to see it when I take a picture on my door. Shake it a bit. All right. So I'm just going to put this to the side. I'm going to make a simple little bow. I don't even know if it needs a bow. Yeah, I'll have to soak it. But it has an expiry date. I don't know if it's this or if it's actually this that's clogged. Throw this away now. Oh God, now I have anxiety. I have to make a bow. I think I'm going to use this bow maker. I'm telling you, I have every bow maker there is, and why isn't this one sliding? There we go. So this is just like almost like the easy bow. Take my pot cleaner. I'm going to put it down the middle. So this bow maker, I can't remember what it's called. Get it at Walmart. It's a combination of the Bowdabra and the Easy Bow, I believe. For the flowers, I'd use a Krylon outdoor non-yellowing satin spray or gloss spray, but just a little bit. Or if you're just using it for non-fading, you can just use hold on, I'll grab it. It's just easier if I show you guys. Okay, so this is my go-to for mesh and everything. It's Scotch Guard Water and Sun Shield with UV Protector. This prevents it from fading the color. You want to spray this on your wreath outside at least 2 coats. So do 1 coat, let it dry, and then do another coat. It really does help protect the color from fading too fast in the sun. And this is used for like all the outdoor fabric and stuff like that. So it's made by Scotch Guard. There's a few other brands. You can get this one on Amazon. I believe I even have the link to this one on my website. Under Lori's Favorite Tools, you'll find this exact one. I think it comes in a 2-pack. Or you can use the Rust-Oleum. For this one, I have a satin clear. It bonds to plastic, which, you know, Deco mesh is plastic. You do not want to buy a matte one of this because it will dull and fade or make your mesh really dull, especially if they have like metallic in it. I use the satin just for florals and stuff. And if I was just using it for just mesh, I use this one because the mesh is plastic to begin with. The only reason you're spraying your mesh wreath or with your ribbons and stuff is to prevent the fading. So you just use this one and it doesn't leave any kind of film or anything over it. So there's your how-to on spraying your wreaths. I got it on Amazon.ca too. So I'm going to use this green, this spring green. I'm just using 2 solid colors. I do have these 2. I have a whole bunch of solid 1.5s on my website because I do like solid colored ribbons because then you don't have to worry about matching too much. And plus us Canadians can't get half decent ribbon anyways. So solid ribbon is very hard to find in Canada. So that's why I imported quite a bit of it. All right, I think I'm going to do, I don't know if I want to do a wreath with tails. I might just do like a terry bow kind of wreath. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 tails. So these are the length of this. These do pull out, so you can do it longer, but I don't need to. Oh, the ribbon is upside down. Okay, I'm just making an X with my ribbon. I'm going to go in and do a couple loops. Now, even though this is solid on both sides, there is a bad side to it because you can see the wire here. So we do want to give it a twist so we don't see the wire in our loops. And I'm just making my loop 4 inches. I don't want a big, huge bow. So I'm going to do 4 of green. No, it's not on the website yet. Those were just samples I got. I did order a bunch more. So and I'm waiting for my 5-inch centers to come in as well. So you guys don't be ordering the tubing and then have to order the half balls too. Because then my warehouse guys will absolutely kill me. So patience. So I'm going to just do 4 of the white. And of course you can do tails. I'm just kind of making like a terry bow kind of thing. Nothing fancy. All right, and then that's the thing I like about this bow maker. You put your, I struggle with the easy bow maker with the whole pipe cleaner thing. This one, you take your pipe cleaner and you can tighten it right in the bow maker and then pull it up. And of course, I still struggle. All right, so then I'm just going to dovetail these. They're just going to come out the side. So I'm not going to have really any hanging tails. You of course, can make your bow however you want. And I'll dovetail these. Bow Genius. Yes, thank you very much. And yes, the ring boards are available. Put the green over here. There, it's just a simple little bow. And I'll be able to pull out my loops and everything once I get it on the board. See if it's dry. Yeah. You probably still can't see the sparkle. Can you see the sparkle? All right, where's my hanging? Up here. I think I'm going to put the bow here. This looks to be a little bit of a problem spot right there. I'm just going to go right down the holes right here. Oh, it's a little tacky still from my glue. And just twist it. Cut the pipe cleaner off and put it back down the hole so there's nothing to scratch the door or your wall or wherever your customer's going to put it. There. How spring is this one? Holy moly. Just a simple, cute little bow.